Since this is going to be the chapter from 1988 to 1994, the first two people I met and hung with was Timmy Chunks from Token Entry and my friend John Turner, a.k.a. Devil, bus driver from Queens, Alleyway Crew at the most sick of it all dragons, OG, amazing human. Same with Timmy Chunks. What's funny about this is my friend Joe, who does the podcast with me, Joe Vasion, he told me after listening to both their interviews, he went to the same school that Timmy Chunks went to, the Catholic school in Queens, and he also took the bus that the Devil drove. So it's pretty awesome. It's a really small world. Queens is such a tight unit of people, and there's so many people I know from Queens. I feel like calling this chapter Queens, but this would be, I guess, episode 1 of NYHC Family Tree. This is about the first chapter, which is the story of Queens. So thanks for listening, guys. This is it. I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm going to have plenty of these phone calls coming up. Interviewed 20 people for the NYHC season. So get ready for it. This is Timmy Chunks and Devil. Say something, Chunks.
Hey, check 1 2.
Sick.
Microphone check. 1 2. What is this?
Yeah. All right. So on the phone right now, I have my man Timmy Chunks. In order for this episode to even start, is the chapter of me leaving Southern Maryland to move to New York City in 1988. I'm pretty sure that I met you in the summer of '87 at the Marble Bar when Token Entry played with Henry Rollins or the Rollins Band. I'm not too sure. Is that correct? Do you know?
That is correct. Yeah, the Marble Bar with Rollins Band, and you were one of 10 people at the show.
No way.
Yeah, there was nobody there. It was empty.
What? That makes no sense to me. Thinking how important obviously Rollins was to punk rock, and obviously how important you guys were to me and all of our friends. That's I didn't even know that many people were there. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was there was nobody there. The place was empty, and I couldn't. I was under the same impression. I was like, why is there nobody here? I couldn't believe it. I was blown away. And then when Rollins took the stage, when the Rollins Band went on stage, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe everybody is missing this.
That's crazy. So that was '87. So I was already a fan of Token Entry. We haven't met yet because obviously I'm looking at some pictures I have of us, like me taking pictures with all you guys outside. Super fanboy, love Token Entry. I'm not sure how I even got into that. Found that record, but I definitely found it. Probably at Smash Records or something in DC. But then we became friends from there. We became like, there was no phones back then, so it was like straight up just pen paling, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, that's all it was. Pen paling and actually making actual phone calls.
Yeah.
There was no there was no texting or anything. When you wanted somebody to get in touch with you, you had to give them your home phone number.
That's true.
And you'd come home at the end of the day or whatever, and you'd be stoked to have messages on your answering machine.
It's true. That's so crazy.
It was like opening a present every day. Like, who called? Who called?
That is crazy. I didn't even think about shit like that. Yeah, it was all answer machines back then. So, I feel like I became fascinated not just with Token Entry, but the whole New York scene. And like, I was 17. I was living in Maryland. I knew when I turned 18 I could finally leave Maryland. I was there for 4 years, made the best of it, made some great friends, but really wanted to go to the city and go to New York and be part of the scene. And so you ended up pretty much saying that I could actually move in, and I could move in with you and your brother in Flushing, Queens.
Yeah. Yeah, we had I was living with my brother at the time. We had I think this was in '87. I forget what had happened, but I ended up my brother and I ended up getting an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment together.
Yeah.
In Flushing. And I was talking to you. We were talking a bunch at the time, and you were saying that, you're like, oh, I want to get out of here. And I was like, well, come stay with me.
Yes.
So it was just, just like it seems to me that things were different then, obviously.
For
you
sure.
know.
Just move your whole life. Come to New York, live with me, no big deal. And I was like 17. I really know what I was gonna do. I remember actually getting dropped off at a token entry show at CBGB's. My friend Dave Weiskopf drove me. I left my first love, Shelly Shackley, and I got dropped off at the show with everything I owned. And it was scary to me because I maybe been to New York once when I was young with my uncle, but not to like a show. I've only seen these shows and pictures in magazines or just seen shows in D.C., but New York was its whole different element. And then getting dropped off there at one of your shows, I was like, holy shit, I'm not going back to where I just came from. I'm actually going to be, after this guy gets off stage, I'm moving into Queens with him. It sounds so crazy now thinking about it, but
I think Devil actually gave us a ride back to my place.
Yeah. The boost. Yeah, that's true. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So that was pretty crazy too.
Yeah, back then, growing up in New York, you didn't need a car.
Yeah.
So it was like I didn't get my driver's license until I was 25 years old. And the only reason I got a driver's license is because I bought a car off of Ernie for $200, and I was like, I have a car, I should probably get a driver's license now. But
holy shit.
Growing up in New York, you never needed a car. You don't need a car unless you're moving everything you own and you have that you brought from Maryland, and you need to get it back to Queens from Manhattan.
So true. It's so true. Yeah, I know people. Shit, I didn't get my license until I moved to California in 2000. I didn't get it until 2003 because I didn't have it the whole time living on the East Coast. I finally get it because my wife gave me an ultimatum and said, if you don't get your license, you're not going to see the birth of your child. You need to drive me to the hospital that night. So so I got my license. I failed the test a couple of times, but I finally got my license. But we still have New York friends now that I know that I shall rename nameless who still don't have the license. I think it's fucking pretty amazing though.
It is amazing. My mom never had a driver's license ever. She never drove a car.
Holy shit! You don't even think about stuff like that because it's like mandatory anywhere else, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like you have to get that to survive and get around and stuff. But like, and it's almost makes you not really have to be that responsible because you don't have to pay car insurance or where you're parking a car and driving, and it's like pretty crazy. So I remember, I don't know what my expectations were moving in with you. I was moving from living in my girlfriend's attic, actually, in Maryland. And I remember getting it. I remember, like, I walked in, your brother was, like, eating pizza or something, maybe some, like, weed or something. And I was like, holy shit, this is, like, real-life shit. Like, I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, this is crazy. And then I had my room. That was just that's just crazy that happened based off of becoming a fan of your band and then becoming pen pals. And yeah, sure, come out here. Like for you, it was like, yeah, whatever, come stay out. For me, it was like, I'm actually moving away from my family and I'm going to fucking go all the way to New York, not know what I'm going to do. To me, it was the biggest deal. She was like, yeah, whatever, come stay with me. Pretty awesome. And I remember like,
well, I mean,
go ahead.
That whole statement you just made, what's at the core of that whole statement is a friendship.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that people don't make friends the same way or anything, but with so much communication now being instant and, whether it's, texting or, the friendship, I think it's harder to build a friendship like that now.
100%. Like our children will never know anything else but social media and having the phones 24/7. We didn't have that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's such a different fucking world, man. And like, I'm so happy that we got to live in that time of our lives where we didn't have that. We stayed creative. We stayed outside. We skated. We did things. It wasn't just glued to our phones or the television, even that. But yeah, like that's some real shit right there. You're right. Real friendship and like trust and all that stuff. So yeah, that was pretty amazing. I started going to shows with you guys. I remember, I don't think it was the show that got dropped off, but I remember you guys were playing and I jumped up on the stage and I smacked my head on the corner of this speaker at CB's and my head started bleeding really bad. I was freaking the fuck out. I don't know if I was trying to get your attention or not, but like it was I remember it was during your set there and it fucking scared me, man. But there was some great shit. Go ahead.
that speaker over on stage right there.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody smacked their head on that at one point or another.
Super deadly. And then like skating and shit. I remember you took me to some ramps in Queens because we were both skaters and shit. That was amazing. Because I'd come from we had a bunch of ramps in Maryland and stuff, and I love that. I love that you were a skater too. You know what I mean? In New York, because there wasn't such a
You guys had Cedar Crest, didn't you?
Yeah, that was Virginia. Yeah, fucking huge, scary ass metal ramp. So
scary. My God, I skated that thing once, and it was at night, and it was like covered in dew. I ate shit. It was
damn.
I was like so excited to be there and the skaters. I was like, oh my God, Cedar Crest, this place is famous, and I just fucking ate it so bad.
Were you like a ramp skater back then, or a street skater? I mean, street really wasn't like a thing back then, though.
The street was just kind of coming into its own.
Yeah.
Back in the mid '80s, there really wasn't a lot of street stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing stairs.
No.
Nobody was doing handrails.
No.
Hell, nobody was even doing kickflips back then.
They weren't. Only person doing something like that was like a freestyle, like Rodney Mullen or like Pearl Willender or something. They were doing the street stuff, like the
exactly.
Flips.
Like the big street trick back then was, well, first of all, if you could ollie, that was insane. That was incredible.
Yeah.
But then like things like bonelesses and bean plants and ice plants, like that was like the big trick.
Lap overs, all that shit. Yeah. Slappies on the curb.
Yeah.
Like, so for you, what got you into skateboarding living in New York? Like, because it didn't seem like it's always been people think about California and stuff, but what turned you on to that?
Remember having like a GT Scamp.
Oh yeah.
A green GT Scamp. I'm not even sure how old I was. But that must have been like late 70s, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And I don't even know exact. It was probably in that peak when like skateboarding was on Wide World of Sports.
Yeah, I remember
like
that.
They would show some skateboarding competitions,
downhill and stuff, maybe carving and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I that's probably what like piqued my interest in it. But and then growing up, get into high school, make new friends, and some of my friends skated. So me, Jay Bird, Joe Stick.
Yeah.
There was a crew of us. Jordan, Deshev,
Vinny Alou.
Vinny Alou was a little bit later on,
okay.
But yeah, Vinny Alou,
yeah.
And then like all the in your face guys, Mark and Joe,
Long Island.
Yeah, the Strong Island crew.
Yeah. I'm sure like the Bones Brigade videos too. Those were so crucial back then.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the first Bones Brigade video, I remember watching it at Jay Bird's house. We were watching it, and the scene where McGill drops in and it's to Youth Brigade.
Yeah.
Do you want to die?
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, it was so intense.
So impactful too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like for the at the risk of using the term, it was life changing.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like it's like you're already into this music, this like different types of music. Like you're into punk rock and some shit that's not what everybody else is listening to, and then you get into skateboarding too, or whether vice versa, how you get into it first or not. But then there's that soundtrack to it. That's like it goes with the aggression and the energy of the skateboarding, and it's like it's just a perfect combo. And it's like that's how I want to live my life, or that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't like you wanted to do it because you want to make money or do it because you even thought you could be a pro. You did it because you loved it. And it was just so fun trying tricks and fuck, man, it's just. The skateboard, it just changed everything. I feel like, and for you guys, for me, I thought it was so amazing that for being a New York hardcore band, there wasn't bands like even bringing skateboarding into lyrics, or even like you would rock knee pads on stage and shit. You know what I mean? Like, or bringing that vibe into hardcore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Was that like was that hard? Not hard for you guys. Did people kind of react to that differently because of that?
No, I don't think so. I think if anything, it brought us closer.
Yeah.
To people. it made us more accessible. Like, oh my God, hey, these guys skate. I skate. Oh, these guys skate. Oh, this is so cool. I totally get what they're singing about.
Yeah, yeah. But
So it's sort of.
Go ahead.
It like when I joined the band, they weren't necessarily a skate band.
Yeah.
But I was a heavy skater.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought that sort of that influence in, and that energy, and that attitude of, go big or go home.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's awesome. But I thought it was awesome because nobody was really doing that. Everything in New York had a different kind of edge and like kind of stigma about it. It was like different, more like harder in the streets, and you know what I mean, how the New York vibe was. And then you guys had a hard edge too, but then also lyrically and melodies and the guitars and the skate edge to it was so I'm not saying original, but so different and stuck out, I think, for New York. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't like stuff like that. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was weird because we never although we played with all of the youth crew bands and all of the, we played with every band on the scene.
Yeah.
But it's like weird because we were never really part of any of the cliques.
Gotcha.
We would there'd be, we'd play and there'd be tons of straight edge kids there. There'd be tons of youth crew kids. There'd be tons of skaters. It would, but we not we're not on any of the New York hardcore comps. Like, we're not on any of them.
That's true.
And it was just because I think because we were just, like you're saying, we were sort of a different, not saying better or worse or anything like that, but I think it was just a little bit different and people didn't understand it, maybe.
100%. I mean, I feel like you said, you had such a diverse group of people because there were kids who skated, who liked punk, or they were straight edge punk rock skaters, or whatever they were. They connected to it because it wasn't what everybody else was singing about or even looking like. Even you always rocked like your own style too. Super long shorts, the bleached hair, this crazy colors, and like I love that. Like, everybody had there's a Token Entry necklace that everybody had that was fucking classic and like a staple of, like, everybody who's down with Token Entry had these necklaces. I think Ernie made them. I'm not sure if he made them, the ceramic ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was like a symbol of just like, I felt like positivity and like we're New York hardcore, but we have a different mentality. You know what I mean? We're into different shit. You know what I mean? We're not just doing what everybody else is doing. That's why I thought it stood out really well. And I think it's why I connected too, because I was into skate rock tapes. I was into JFA and McRad, and I was a skater kid listening to punk music in Maryland too. And then I like the New York hardcore sound. Then you guys also skated, and like those album covers, it would like those colorful, amazing drawings. I think Ernie did those too, like those caricatures and like the Jaybird album cover. That shit was just awesome artwork too. It was just like, you were attracted to it, you know what I mean? Because and then obviously the music was amazing, and the playing, and those fucking leads that nobody was doing leads like that and shit on hardcore records and shit. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know where that guy even came from. It was just amazing. But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's why Token Entry stood out to me, and I think that's why I connected to it. So to be able to move to New York with one of my favorite bands and live with you and skate and go to these shows those times are like, those are amazing times, you know?
Absolutely.
And then when did you end up leaving New York to come to California?
I moved to California in December of 1993.
Oh shit! Okay. Wow, it's so long, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you're a true New Yorker. Like, you're from there, you're a native. Like, I'm sure you have family out there still. Like, what made you make the move out here?
In 91, it was actually January of 91, Token Entry broke up, and me and Ernie were like, all right, we're done. We're not gonna do this anymore. We're not gonna try and keep this going.
Yeah.
And I just got to a point where I felt like I had gotten everything I was gonna get out of New York. Gotcha. Like, I needed to change. I needed to change the scenery, you know, And I was like, I can stay. I knew for a fact that I could stay in New York
Yep.
and be comfortable and, get married and buy a house on the island and have, 2.5 kids
Yeah.
and live the rest of my life just, going to an occasional show.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I could live that life and be fine.
Yeah.
But there was a part of me that was like, I could live that life and be fine, but all I'm doing if I choose that path is I'm just slowly eating a bullet.
Yeah.
I'm just killing myself slowly.
And you in the union too, right? At that point?
I was in the union, yeah. I left.
Okay.
I quit.
Wow. So was
I
that
quit the
was,
union.
mm-hmm.
I packed up and actually moved to New Brunswick, New Jersey. This was in '91. I moved to New Brunswick, New Jersey, with all the Bouncing Souls guys. And
Chunk Saw.
Yep, all of that. Started
Mm-hmm.
all of that stuff with them. Same thing as you, like moving, to New York.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it. I'm done here. Like you were done with Maryland.
Yep.
I was done with New York. So moved to New Brunswick, lived there for about a year or so, a little over a year, I guess.
Yeah.
And then made my way out to California.
So was that were your parent, was your family bummed you were leaving? Or, I mean, obviously you're a grown ass man, but like, was that a hard decision to make?
Not for me. No.
Yeah. You were done with it. You were
Not
like,
for
yeah.
me.
And then,
Yeah, exactly.
and then what was the final straw? Like, what was the reason why Token Entry broke up in '91?
We had a European tour booked.
Okay.
Literally, we were supposed to leave on, I want to say, like January 15th.
Yeah.
Like, tickets were purchased. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
plane was, like, everything was set.
Set.
And 2 days before we were supposed to leave, the Desert Storm or whatever the first Iraqi war was, the U.S. dropped bombs in Afghanistan or Iran or wherever it was.
Holy shit! I remember this.
And at the time, so it was me and Ernie, and we had two brothers, Matt and Mike Citarella, playing bass and guitar, respectively. And so we're supposed to leave in 2 days. We drop bombs, and Ernie and I both get a call from Matt and Mike, and they say, we're not going. And we're like, what are you talking about? They're like, we're not going. There's going to be weird retaliations.
Oh, my God.
So essentially, they were scared to go.
Wow.
And
that's crazy.
Yeah. So, and Ernie and I were just like, because this was now the second European tour that we had to cancel on.
Oh, man.
The first one was, I want to say in '89. And that one didn't get so far as like tickets being purchased or anything like that.
Yeah.
But when this happened, we were just, Ernie and I were just crushed. We were like, man, this is doomed. We can't keep doing this.
You put all the energy and passion and everything into it, and then that shit happens. Yeah, that's totally like, I get it. And it was too soon. Like 2 days before, you can't get new players either to fill in and learn the songs that quick either. Yeah.
Exactly. Like had it been like a week before even,
we
could have been like, we need a guy. I'm sure somebody over there would have been like, I'll play.
Yeah, for sure. Was this a headlining tour?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
So you're like, just fuck it, I'm over this shit. It's like, it's draining my energy. It's put so much into it, and just feel like I get it 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it was heartbreaking, definitely.
Sure, man.
There was years later, probably, I don't know, 2009, I think. I was working for a band called Billy Talent from Canada.
Yeah, I heard of them. Yep.
And their drum tech is a guy by the name of Stilly from Germany. And I show up on the tour, and Stilly's like, hey, mate, how are you? Good to meet you. We're talking. And he's like, I drove 6 hours to see you at that first show that you guys never showed up for.
Shit.
I was like, oh my God.
Damn,
And this is years
man.
later,
Yeah.
almost 20 years later, I meet this guy.
Wow.
And now me and Stilly and I are great friends now.
Holy
But it was
shit.
just like, I was crushed. Because,
Damn.
he wasn't the only one. He wasn't the only one who drove.
Yeah, of course. But I feel like you pretty much did what you wanted to do. Like, you could have that union job, like you said, a house in Long Island with family and shit. Obviously, you do have a family, you have kids. That, like, you just said, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. And that's pretty punk. Like, you just said, I think you pretty much lived your life always that way, by your own rules. Like.
Yeah, I tried to.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It happens for all of us. But, like, pretty much with that mindset of, like, I'm just going to do what I want to do. I mean, I feel like all of us are like that. That's why we're all still connected and friends. We come from this place, I guess. And what do you think it was for you that attracted you to punk in the first place? Like, was your older brother into it?
No, nobody in my family was into punk. I have 7 brothers and sisters. Not one of them was into punk.
Fuck. classic rock and shit, right?
Oh yeah, tons of classic rock.
Because I remember your brother used to play some shit in the apartment. 100%, 100%. So what? So how did you get exposed to it then? If they weren't exposing it to you?
Through different, different people I met.
People in school too, or no?
Not that many people at school, really. I went to a Catholic high school.
Wow.
Yeah, so I went to an all-boy Catholic high school. So didn't really meet anybody there that was into punk.
Yeah.
I used to work Christmas season at a garden store where my mom worked.
Okay.
And I would work selling Christmas trees and stuff.
Awesome.
And one year when I was working there, there was an older guy, and he was like, we were just talking. He was like, oh, here. And he gave me the Kraut 7-inch.
Holy shit.
And I was just like, I was like, oh, this is awesome. And he's like, oh, yeah, you can have it.
Wow.
I was like, no fucking way. But that garden center is where I met Devil.
Okay.
So, Devil and I went to our first show together.
Wow.
And there were some other guys that were a little bit older who worked at the store that were into punk. So that's probably, and they were the guys who were like, oh, you got to listen to Oi the Show. Oh, you got to listen to Noise the Show.
Yeah.
And they would like make me mixtapes and give me stuff,
That's amazing, man.
So that was like how I first got into it. And then, listening to it, the whole rebellion of it.
Yeah.
Just, I fit right in line with it,
Were you like a black sheep in your family too?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So did you bring that music home and show anybody in your family, like, check out this music I'm listening to, and they thought it was crazy, or?
Oh yeah. My older brother, my oldest brother, threatened to beat the shit out of me one time because I was listening to The Exploited.
Oh shit.
It was it Fuck the USA.
Oh yeah.
And he lost it on me. My mom used to so then I started going to shows and stuff, and my mom would throw out T-shirts if she didn't like graphics on them.
Holy shit.
Like a Meatmen T-shirt, an MDC T-shirt.
Oh, and those were foul shirts. I remember those. Yeah. With the Meatmen, you suck. All that shit. Yeah.
Exactly. So like, it wasn't really encouraged or supported by any means.
Yeah.
In my house.
But that made you like it even more, probably. Like, this is my shit. You know
exactly.
What I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, because it just fits in with the rebellion and the, you know what? I'm gonna say, you're gonna tell me what to do, and I'm gonna say fuck you.
Yeah. And did you do good in school?
I was okay in school.
Yeah.
But I definitely stopped caring.
Yeah.
And so I went to the all-boy Catholic high school.
Uniforms, right? Anyway, uniforms?
Uniforms.
Damn.
Uniforms. Hair couldn't touch the collar, the whole thing.
Holy shit.
Had, brothers were which is like a priest light. They were the teachers.
Yeah.
So I went there for 3 years, freshman, sophomore, and junior year. At the end of my junior year, junior year is definitely when I got into punk and hardcore the heaviest. Like that was when I was just like, this is what my life's all about.
Yeah.
So at the end of junior year, I got kicked out. I remember it was towards the end of the year. There were about 2 weeks left of school, and I get called down to the dean's office, and I'm just like, whatever. So I walked into the dean's office, and my mom is sitting there.
Oh my God!
And on the dean's desk is a stack like 6 inches high of all the detention notices I had forged all year long. Because I was cutting class, and I was, I was ditching school, and I was cutting class,
and shit,
and I would just forge my mom's signature. And
oh my God!
So I'm sitting in there, and they're like, blah blah blah, whatever. And finally, the dean just goes, "We think it would be best if Timothy didn't come back next year."
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Holy
I'm dead serious.
Shit! Your mom was fucking flipping, I'm sure, man.
Yeah, she was not happy by any means.
Oh my! So what happened?
So, I left, went to public school for my senior year. I went to public school with Mike Smegma, Pete Kohler.
Wow.
I'm not sure if Craig was there, but basically there were a couple of guys. Robert Chavera might have been in our year, I think.
Yeah.
So basically, like original Alleyway Crew.
Yeah. That's amazing. So now you're in the school with like your peoples, like people like-minded like you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and then it was great.
So it was a hard going from like Catholic school into like public school. Or you loved it. It was like a hard. Yeah.
The thing about it is, when you're in Catholic school, all you hear about public school is that the teachers don't care.
Yeah.
So my first semester of my senior year, I just didn't go to school. I was just like, fuck it, I don't need to go.
Holy shit.
So I failed every class.
Oh shit.
So my second semester, I was like, I gotta straighten up. I gotta get a high school diploma. So I went to school from 0 period to 8th period, which was like, 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning until 3 in the afternoon.
Jesus.
And then I took a bus across town to another school to make up more credits.
Wow.
And I did that for, the whole second half of my senior year. And then still had to go to summer school after my senior year to get my diploma.
That's fucking crazy, man. Damn. Was your mom stressed? Was your mom pretty strict about that, grades and stuff?
No, actually, she was really supportive of that. She was like, all right, you're doing, she was like, okay, I'm glad you're taking this seriously. I'm glad you're doing what you need to do.
Yeah. But were there any...
So she was actually...
Go ahead.
What's up?
I said, was there any pressure or thoughts of college too?
No, absolutely not. Nobody in my family. My family wasn't really college bound.
Yeah. When you get out of school, so what? Were you just going to shows and stuff and skating? I'm sure you had a job somewhere, but like, did you know what you wanted to do at that point? You just kind of out there.
Well, I was going to be an electrician.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had an uncle who was an electrician. He'd get me into the union. Both of my older brothers were electricians. Like
family,
5 other guys in the neighborhood were electricians. It was like, I was just going to be an electrician.
Wow. It's like the thing to do. It's like part of whatever you grew up in. That's what happens.
Exactly.
Wow. So then, fuck, man. So I'm sure when you started doing music, it was like a total shock to the family and stuff. And your mom's obviously she came and saw Token Entry before. Was that like, do you remember how that was?
She never saw us.
What?
She never saw us. Yeah.
Holy shit. Really?
Yeah.
You try getting her to come to shows? She would never come to the shows?
Exactly. Yep.
Holy
shit. None of my siblings, nobody in my family ever saw Token Entry.
Bullshit, dude. Are you fucking
I'm serious,
dude? How many years you guys together?
Like 6.
That's so crazy, man. That's not weird. That's not crazy if you think about it. That's fucking. What was the reason? They just didn't care, or was scared of it, or thought it was weird, or like what was it? You think?
I don't know if she had a reason, or if she did, she never told me.
Did that bother you?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm. It's okay. I mean, she's got 8 kids she had to take care of.
No, I know, but shit, that's so wild. I'm sure she's seen a video or something of you guys at least.
Yeah, I think she's seen video of it.
Yeah. Dude,
But,
that's crazy.
But like a video, she's just like, "Oh my Lord, that looks crazy."
Fuck. That's fucking wild, man. Even your brothers didn't even come. That's really crazy to me, man. And you think they thought you were crazy when you quit the union?
What's that?
They thought you were probably crazy when you quit the union too, probably, right? And said, "Fuck, I'm going to Cali."
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. When I was like, "That's it, I'm done," they were like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm leaving."
Wow, man.
They're like, "Well, what are you doing? You're gonna throw this all away?" And I was like, "Who cares?"
And you have no regrets.
Like,
you have no regrets of that either, right?
I don't have any. It's weird. Regret's not the right word.
Yeah.
Had I stayed in the union, it's really funny because had I stayed in the union, I'd probably be able to retire in like 2 years.
Oh wow. Yeah, then you'd be chilling. Yeah.
Yeah, but do I regret quitting? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
You traveled all around the world after that. You went everywhere with, you know what I mean? You were touring so much.
I went everywhere.
Yeah.
Went everywhere.
Met a lot of cool people. Like, yeah, I remember you were always traveling, man, for a long time.
Oh God, yeah.
And that,
absolutely.
And that's the stuff you didn't get to do because you didn't get to go to Europe with Token Age, so you got to go to Europe probably a million times after that with other bands, right?
Oh fuck yeah, so many times.
Yeah. So you still get to see the world.
I've probably been to Europe 20, 25 times maybe.
Damn. It's crazy. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, like you said, all around the world. Gone, when you wake up in Perth, Australia, and you realize you're about as far away from New York as you can possibly be.
That's crazy.
And you're not like sad about it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a whole different world that people understand about touring and the difference between reality and I don't want to call it touring fantasy, but obviously you just get to travel the world. It's amazing. You do what you love, and even if it's on the side of like working and teching and setting up shit, you still get to travel and see things. It's an amazing thing. I think it was way it was my college for sure. It was way getting an education, a worldly view on everything,
Yeah, well, absolutely.
It's something totally special that unless you do it, you really can't. People really don't understand it. It's pretty awesome. You get paid whether you're working, like I say, whatever you're doing, you get to travel and. But yeah, it's awesome. So you pretty much did exactly what I did. I took a chance, moved to New York, lived with you. You took a chance, came to California, knew like one person out here, and here we are still out here. It's pretty amazing, man. Like, and it all started from just like, I don't know. I just feel like just meeting you in D.C. and fan of your band, and it's because of you. You were like the key to me getting to New York. You were like the I don't know what to call it, but I appreciate you doing that for me at a very young age and let me do that. And I got to get out there and experience life and then end up starting my band and being a roadie and all that stuff, It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I don't look back and go like, oh, I really wish I stayed in the Union. Oh, I really wish I stayed in New York.
Yeah.
Like that, it's do you know Brian Meehan?
Yeah.
Played guitar in Kill Your Idols?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did a very similar thing. He was in the Union and he quit, traveled all around the world. And we were talking just a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying that he was working with a guy who said, "Oh yeah, this is Brian. He quit the Union because he's a loser." And Brian just laughed and said, "Really? I'm a loser?" He's like, "Yeah, I quit the Union, but I've been to like 10 different countries. Where have you been?"
Wow.
He's like, "You've been to Secaucus. How am I a loser?"
That's so funny, man. It's so true because there's people that don't leave their town, leave their city, leave their fucking house. They just go to work, come home. That's all they do, and that's all they know. And that's good as long as they're happy. Kudos to you. But there's some people that don't even fucking leave and never fly an airplane. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's funny. I have a weird theory about people from Queens, especially.
Mm-hmm.
That I think people in Queens live vicariously through us.
Interesting.
Like my brothers don't leave Queens. My brothers don't leave New York.
Ever.
But
yeah.
But they get to tell everybody they work with and all their friends, oh yeah, my brother was just in Japan. He said it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was snowing. Like stuff like that. Like they get to tell these stories that we tell them.
Yeah.
So they live vicariously through us.
I wonder what it is with people like us who we're all connected by punk rock and skateboarding and all this shit, and we all have this thing where like we're not saying we're not worried about the future because we both have children and stuff. We're parents and stuff, but like even during our whole life, we're just like we just want to do what we want to do and we love and we don't give a fuck and we're not going to be like everybody else and not going to be in society and all this shit and get tattoos. And I wonder what kind of breed of people we are that we all found each other. It's pretty amazing, and then we all like live these lives and we're still like big kids, even though we have real responsibilities and we are parents. It's still like this part of us of this like we're so connected to this music and this culture, and still even I'm about to be 50 in 2 years, like you know what I mean, like it's something that's so instilled in us. It's so special that not everybody gets to have that experience or be a part of this, and it's just interesting how it sticks with you for your entire life. It's not something you grow out of, no matter what you're doing in your life. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
It's
absolutely.
Fucking...
I don't know what it is about it either. Like, I don't know what that gene or that trait is that people like you and me have.
Yeah.
But underlying a lot of it, I think, is going back to like what I was saying earlier. Like I could have stayed in New York and just been okay with everything. But inside, there's a part of me that's like, I want more. I want, this is what I know makes me happy.
I want more.
What makes me happy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. What makes me happy is playing music.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if there's 500 kids there or if there's 5 kids there.
Exactly.
Playing music is what makes me happy.
Yeah.
Traveling around, driving in a van with the people in your band for 8 hours.
It's crazy.
That's, like the show itself, whether it's a total bust or the greatest show you've ever played, the 8 hours leading up to that connection.
Yeah, man. Camaraderie and family vibe, and brotherhood.
That's what it is for me. It's like, that's what I miss the most about those days.
Doing something you love with your best friends and just going to have fun.
Exactly.
No matter what. Like,
exactly.
That's priceless. That's real life friendship. That's, yeah, man. It's crazy, man. Like the memories are so vivid from everything from back then and with music and stuff, and it's just it really scopes you into like the humans that we are from everything we learned from that. Even just varies about racism and sexism, all that stuff you didn't learn about in school, or your parents taught you, and just standing up for shit and believing in yourself. And I don't know, man, it's really something special, I think we'll be like this till we die, young till we die.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
It's pretty amazing. But yeah, I think fuck, man, we covered a lot of shit. I really appreciate your time, and also I appreciate like you obviously taking me in when I was a youngster and introducing me to people and taking me under your wing. And it's pretty amazing that stories like that don't happen anymore. I don't know how long ago those stories stopped happening. It was just how we met and everything. It's pretty amazing, and I thank you for that because of you opened so many doors for me as a person and meeting new people and actually starting my band, which is
but like that's like I was saying earlier about, it's a friendship.
Yeah.
That's where it goes full circle. Because 2 months ago, H2O played, and you let us, and I talked to you, and you were like, okay, and you made it happen where my new band
That Rage
could open.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. It was great. And that's the friendship. That's like,
I agree. We may not see each other all the time or hang out all the time, but we have a connection and a friendship from a long, long time ago. We know each other really, really well. Like you knew me when I was a fucking teenager, and the fact that we're both playing music still, and we played together, it's fucking awesome. Now I feel bad that my mom was at the show because your mom never seen your band play. Now I feel like bad my mom was at the LA show. Oh, fuck, man. I wish Timmy Chunks' mom come to the show. Fuck, man. And then also, people don't know, it's a quick fact. On the Way to the World album, I get a shout out from Timmy on the song Sack Flap Laid Back, right? People don't really know that's about me. So I appreciate the love on that. And that's when I was young, I used to do this thing where I'd smack my sack against my butt called the sack flap. Oh shit, sack flap laid back, and I'm gonna go back home. That's information.
It was too hard to find something to rhyme with shooting rope.
Exactly. That's a whole nother fucking episode. People hit me up from time to time and ask me about that. It's so funny. They do like a random comment from a private account. You rope lately? I'm like, motherfucker, that shit ended fucking in my 20s. If you weren't there, if you missed it, you missed it. But I love you, Timmy. I appreciate everything you've done. I appreciate what Token Entry's done for me in my life. They did for me as a kid, what they still do. When I listen to those songs, I get goosebumps. I have so many great memories and all that, man. And that's it. I appreciate your time, Timmy. Mr. Chunks.
Appreciate it. I love you, buddy.
I love you too, man. And hopefully we'll get you guys in some more shows next time we're playing and stuff for sure. Check out Let Rage, everybody.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Where's the cool indoor skate parks? I want to start skating again.
You can come skate anytime at the Barracks. My wife runs the Barracks skate park downtown. She's boss lady. You can skate there anytime you want. It's fucking amazing.
Awesome.
Have you heard of the Barracks?
Awesome. I don't know.
Dude, look it up. It's like
I've just seen that. Yeah. I've seen some of the posts you've put up on it.
Yeah, dude. Anytime you want to go there, dude. Or we can skate the Brooklyn Project's mini ramp that Eddie Ratige built in the back. It's super dope. One side's pool coping, one side's regular. But the Barracks skate park, I'll send you a link once we get off the phone. My wife said every single day we can go anytime we want. I'll even meet you there on the weekend or something. It's just carving and shit. I'm there like a street skater guy, and I'm embarrassed when I go there because I get all hyped to skate, and there's like all these young kids shredding with no pads on. I'm like dads with pads all the way. So like for me, I get a little nervous skating there. I end up just watching my son skate and getting like just be the old guy that's filming my son do his little lines and stuff. But if you go,
right,
I'll carve around with you. Yeah, it's fucking intimidating. It's beautiful. It's a little slippery sometimes. Kids are just shredding railings and all this. It's fucking. But yeah,
awesome.
I have a dream of getting a mini ramp in my backyard. We'll see what happens We'll see what happens. I'm trying to work out a deal with my wife and my son about getting a mini ramp. Would be pretty awesome.
Hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
I love skating ramps. But yeah, the Barracks, man. I'll send you a text about it.
All right, please do.
All right, much love, Timmy. Oh yeah, check out Let Rage. What's your Instagram? Let Rage, right?
Let Rage Official.
Let Rage Official. Check out his new band.
Yeah.
All right, Timmy. Love you, brother. Thank you.
Love you too, Toby. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Trying to cross country and I'm having a ball, but I don't want to go back. Cheap motels and cholesterol, and I don't want to go back. The people are so burning and the trip never ends, and I don't want to go back. Streets are overcrowded with the love and consent, and I don't ever want to go back home. We'll go you skate over all the walls, break it, help you take the halls with the people in your body bones. We'll go you skate over all the walls, break it, help you take the halls with the people in your body bones. But the bus, I don't want to go home. No way, no way, no way. All the cities of the country open up because we come and I don't want to go back. We'll never do no lying, just a little bit of time and I don't want to go back. Jews It's what we did in John and Rich's little crib, and I don't want to go back. Rat pack, lay back, watch Toby slap, slap. Who would ever want to go back home? We'll go you skate home all the walls, spray paint, help you take the halls with the people in your bottom halls. We're gonna skate home all the walls, spray paint, help you take the halls with the people in your bottom halls. But the bus, I don't wanna go home. I don't wanna go home. Checking out the bands, first and second hand, and I don't want to go back. Playing like drums and we'll never touch the drums, and I don't want to go back. The people are so friendly and the trip is never ended, I don't want to go back. The streets are overcrowded with the love and the consent, and you can't even make me go back home. We'll go and skate your mama walls, spray paint, help you take the halls with the people in your bottom halls. We're gonna skate your mama walls, spray paint, help you take the halls with the people in your bottom halls. For the bus, 'cause I don't wanna go home.
So I got my man Devil on the phone right now, Debussy, John Turner, a good friend of mine. When I first moved to New York in '88, I was living in Flushing, Queens for a couple months, and then I got kicked out of there because Timmy Chunks forgot to tell his brother I was moving all the way there from Maryland. So then I think I went to the Schick house, which was your house. Is that correct, do you think, Devil?
No. You moved to Sid's Closet at the Gorilla Biscuit.
Yeah, but that was after. I did a little stint on Steinway Street with Dave Stein. I also stayed with Arthur Smilios at his dad's house with him and his sister. But I know I was on your couch maybe before. I don't know if you and Craig lived there, right?
It was me, Craig, and Alma. That was Schick House.
And where in Queens was that?
We actually we were not that far from the Gorilla Biscuits house. Actually, it was New Year's Eve of '88 into '89 when we discussed about getting an apartment. Like, listen, I'll move in with you guys.
Wow.
And yeah, it was the Gorilla Biscuits house. It was a lot of fun, and it turns out that our apartment was the exact same setup as theirs. It was just like a mirror image of it.
Oh, wow.
So like the craziest shit, but I think I met you at the Gorilla Biscuits house.
Yeah, so what year did I meet you? I probably met you like '88.
That was probably probably '88, maybe '89. I'm not certain if it was around New Year's before or after. Yeah. Because those guys live right up the block from Burger King, so like we would be over there a lot.
Yeah, that's right. Murder King, they call it on the corner. So for those listening,
Yeah.
So Devil's been a bus driver his whole life, but he's also part of the Alleyway Crew. And I think it might be safe to say that he has the most Sick of It All dragons. Is that correct?
I think so. I think I have like 10 of them.
Wow. What was the last one you got? Was it many years ago?
Last one I got is probably over 20 years ago.
Wow.
I know Civ did like a flaming 8-ball, but instead of the 8, we did the dragon.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think that's the last one I got.
So I remember meeting you and all those guys in Queens, and you guys kind of took me under your wing in a sense. And I remember going to many shows with you and driving into the city in your car, and we had so many fun times back then. And then did you go on some tours with Sick of It All and us too?
The first time that you were living in the Gorilla Biscuits house when I met you. We did that tour with Sick of It All in AF in '91.
Oh yeah.
So that was the one and only time I actually went out for more than like a day or so.
Yeah.
We did that 10 days, and then they shot the video with Gorilla Biscuits and AF over at the Ritz.
Yeah, '91. Yeah. Live in NYC.
Yeah, right when the war started.
Wow, man. And so.
Yeah.
So you maintained being a bus driver throughout all that, like you've been going to shows and all that.
Well, actually, I haven't been a bus operator in 10 years. I got promoted to dispatcher, and then I got promoted to a manager like 5 years ago.
Oh wow!
So it's been, so I'm a boss at transit now. So.
That's amazing. But you've been in that union for a long time, right?
Actually, I was out of the union from 2013, and we just started a new union.
Oh,
For
really?
the managers. Yeah, so
Oh,
I'm in
wow.
that now. It's 2 years now since the new union formed, so we're represented once again. So.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. That's all. Congrats.
Yeah.
That's all. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool because usually, like, when you're a manager, it's like you and they can do whatever they want with you. But now that we got a representation, like a contract, they got rules they got to follow with us. So.
Yeah, that's
Just
amazing.
like any other union.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought it was cool that you were like this slick back driver covered in tattoos, and you were like a bus driver. It was so cool, though, man. It was so cool.
And now I'm like a boss with all these tattoos, and people are like, "Why do you have those?" I'm like, "Oh, they're mostly gang related." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "I just fucking with you."
But did people bug out on you back then, like being a bus driver with tatted up like that?
I got a lot of strange looks, and it was like normal people riding the bus,
Yeah.
Even though, like, when I used to drive the bus to Rikers Island, the jail in New York City, and people were like, "Oh, you an outlaw?" I'm like, "What? So you a biker?" I'm like, "No, what are you talking about? I got tattoos. That's all. I'm a bus driver."
Yeah, it's just such stereotypes back then too. Before tattoos were so popular, you know what I mean?
I still get the biker question a lot.
You do?
Oh, what kind of motorcycle you ride? I'm like, never rode a motorcycle ever in my whole life.
So do you have any good stories from back then of us? I remember I just remember going to the Ritz a lot with you and like driving to the city, and I forgot what kind of car did you have back then?
I had a blue Monte Carlo, and I got rear-ended by a garbage truck.
Oh shit!
I had that when I lived in Chick House. Had that for a couple. Had that car for like 8 years.
Yeah.
I drove that shit until it fucking died. That shit was done,
Yeah. So.
But so a lot of shows back in those days. It was like my second job. I used to go to show like every other night almost.
I
like
know,
5
dude.
or 6 nights a week we were in a club.
And then Lou's girl worked at the Ritz, I think. So we always got hooked up at the Ritz.
Yeah. Sierra was there, and then May worked there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Knew everybody.
Man.
Everybody knew everybody back then. Now it's like you go there, it's like, who's that old guy over there? Like, fuck you, man. I've been around before you were born.
Is it different going to shows now in New York? Does you feel like a different vibe? And
I don't see much hardcore anymore. Like I'll go see like Sick of It All, like my friends are Killing Time, like that. I go see those guys play, but like as far as most of the time, I don't really go see hardcore anymore.
Wow.
I see some metal stuff.
Yeah.
I see some like regular like punk rock bands, like punk rock and roll kind of style. Like I just saw this band from Chicago the other night, the Criminal Kids. They were really good.
Oh, wow, that sounds a cool name, actually.
Yeah, it's a cool name, and I got a couple of buzz. They were cool guys. I talked to them for a little while.
It's awesome. So you've seen the scene go from like the most insane to like really, really popular, then like kind of died out, and then it's interesting, man. Like how long we've been going into this music and this culture. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. For the longest time, like I didn't have any friends that weren't involved in one way or another, either going to see bands with us, or being in bands, or working for bands. All we knew was people from the hardcore scene. It was just like people like, I don't have anything against you. It's just like I don't really get to interact with you, so I'm not going to be your friend.
Yeah.
I'll be your friend if we know each other, but as far as like how I'm going to meet you, it's going to be you're at a show.
Yeah.
We're in a record store or something. You get a ride with me because I always ended up. Nobody else had a car.
Mm-hmm.
I was the only guy with a car.
Yeah.
So people were like, "Oh, let me get a ride." All right, yeah, cool. There's like 9 people in my car. It's like, fuck, you can't even turn the steering wheel and shit.
And like really no phones back then too. It's like, yo, I'll meet you here at this time, and that's it. I'll see you at that time.
That's right. I'll see you tomorrow. Like I remember getting calls like in the morning on a Sunday. I got a call from somebody. It's like, dude, could you help me bring my amp to the city? I'm like, all right, I'll drive you in. Then I got to come back out and pick everybody up and bring them in.
Damn.
And it's like, then everybody's on their own because I got to drive this giant amp back to this guy's house.
But
no room for anybody but us.
I always love the fact that, like, no matter what, you always went to work the next day. You always been working class dude. Like one of the only people I probably met in New York who had like a real job, man. Maybe a couple other people, but it's crazy.
The only people that I know with real jobs are the guys I work with now. It's like all the music people are like, oh, I wish I started when I was younger like you did. I was like, yeah, but you got to go around the world,
How old when you started? When you started doing that?
I was 21 and a half when I got hired at Steinway Transit.
Wow, man.
So, I'm an old man now, but I'm still too young to retire.
When can you retire? What age?
57.
Okay.
So I got 4 more. I'm only 53 now, so I got like 4 years left, and I just started my 33rd year the other day. So
Holy shit,
I
that's
got a lot
amazing.
of time in.
Wow, Devil.
And it flew by, but you think like you're gonna work your whole life anyway. I think now with a lot of younger people, they don't have like a job for their life. They have a bunch of jobs because that's like back in the day, it was weird if you didn't stay at a place for any amount of time.
Just one spot.
If you didn't stay, like 3 or 4 years, like why did you leave so soon? But now it's like accepted because the way the jobs are now, it's not like you're gonna stay in any place for a long time. They want you to move around and you find new adventures and different kinds of industry to get involved in, especially with all this tech stuff.
Yeah.
You work on a project, the project's done, now you go to the next one. So
it's such different.
It makes sense.
Do you live in Queens or in Brooklyn?
No, I'm in Queens now. I'm back.
Nice.
I was living out in Long Island for a little while.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm back in Glendale. I go out fairly often.
Yeah.
I rarely go to New York City, like Manhattan.
Yeah.
It's mostly like Brooklyn because most of the, there's a bunch of shows in Brooklyn all the time.
It's crazy, man, how everything changed, man.
Yeah. It's rare I go to Manhattan.
Were you born?
And it's not that far.
Yeah. Were you born in Queens?
Yeah, I was born in Astoria, actually.
Awesome.
So if I'd have stayed there, I would have been one of them Astoria guys, but we only lived there till I think it was 2 when we moved.
Wow. And
well, right before.
Right before what?
Right around the time my sister was born, we moved. So I moved to Jackson Heights, but I didn't know those guys. I was on the other end of Jackson Heights. I was like kind of halfway between like Hoya and Big Dave, and then like Anthony and them other guys. I was like in the middle of that.
Oh wow!
But I never knew any of those guys till way after.
Yeah. So how'd you meet everybody? Like, how'd you meet Sickaball and stuff?
I worked at this place called Garden World, and I had worked in a restaurant. This is like 84, right after I got out of high school.
Yeah.
And Timmy Chunks worked there because his mom was a manager there. So
dude, he just said this. I
I
just had him on my podcast yesterday, and he mentioned meeting you at Garden World. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we were like the 2 weirdos there. Like, and it was funny because there were these 2 other guys that worked there.
Yeah.
And they were, like me, like one guy was like 7 years older than me, but they had been going to hardcore shows from like 1979, 1980.
Yeah.
And they used to DJ and stuff, and they like got out of the scene. Like they didn't stick. A lot of those people didn't stick around long.
Yeah. And
they had like all these records, the Minus Threat 7/8 I got from this guy. I heard the whole thing, all these records, and I'd only heard like 1 or 2 songs off of.
Damn.
But like me and Timmy, we started hanging out, and then the Circle Jerks were playing at the Rock Hotel, 1984 into 85, and we're like, let's go. So we went, and we started going. That was when I started going to shows. That was on my first show.
Holy
me and
shit!
Timmy.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys both didn't know Sickaball anybody at that point.
Tim went to a different high school than I did.
Yeah.
And he's younger than me. I think he's like a year or 2 younger than me. I forget sometimes.
Yeah.
But he knew all those guys, and he was trying out for drums for them.
Oh, wow.
And then my parents had gone away for the summer, so I had access to a car. So we drove to the show. COC was playing out in Dover in the show place.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's still there or not, but
yeah.
I drove everybody out there. It was like 9 of us in my dad's car, like sitting in that traffic for like 2 hours before we got there. And that's how I met those guys. Like I had met them once before at a hardcore show.
Yeah.
I forget who was playing. It might have been DOA or GBH. I forget.
Yeah.
And we all went out, and it was like nobody really talked to me and stuff.
Really?
This is the first time they met me. Yeah. Well, the first time they met me, I was really, really drunk. Shit.
Okay.
I was probably being an idiot.
Yeah.
But that's how I started like hanging out the alleyway.
Yeah, so tell us about
us
about the alleyway. I mean, people know the alleyway from the first Sickaball 7-inch. Everybody's staying in this alleyway, which is part of the Alleyway Crew. Like, where is the where is the alleyway, and what does it represent?
Well, actually, it was just like a spot to hang out. Like you hang out in a schoolyard and stuff, but this was an actual alleyway between the ends of the school and an apartment building.
Okay.
And like you could come in so instead of you having to walk all the way around the block, if you lived on the other side of the school to get into the school, you could just cut through.
Yeah, yeah.
So we just hung out there, and it was like the alleyway of death. It was like kind of corny, but it was like that's why I started hanging out with those guys.
Alleyway of death.
We'd be drinking. The alleyway of death.
So it's just a place to hang out, right?
Hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It was just a spot we would go there and hang out like on a Saturday night. And I started doing that every Saturday. And we would go to show. We would go to the matinee the next day. I mean, those guys didn't go to every matinee. I know I did.
Yeah.
Once I started going to CBGBs, I was at every one of them for like, I don't know, like 3 years or something.
Yeah.
Like right until when I got on the buses, and after that, it kind of, once I was working on a Sunday afternoon, and that was the end of that. But,
Yeah.
I went to see a lot of those shows.
Did anybody?
And then when I had the car, forget it.
Yeah, the car, everything. Yeah. Did
Car was the game changer.
Yeah. Did anybody go to school at that schoolyard? Or is it a random school?
It's a junior high school.
Okay, but nobody went to school there.
I don't think so. Anybody. You know who did this? This guy Lenny that I know.
Okay.
He's another music guy, but he was younger than us, so.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody. It was it was right by everybody's house, and they just kind of ended up going there. It was like halfway between like the train and their houses. So.
Yeah.
And it was cool. Nobody bothered you. People shot at us and shit, but
people what?
Stuff in at us, but somebody fired a BB gun in there one night at us.
Oh shit.
And we went looking, but they were gone when they came out. And there were some guys, those guys went to school with that we had some beef with. But most time it was just like us hanging out, listening to music and having fun.
Yeah, it was like you guys were like the metalheads hanging out. You guys had your music, you listen to hardcore there and shit, and just hanging out like.
Yeah, and then once Sick of It All started playing, and we kind of. Shows are big on Saturday night, so you had something else to do on Saturday night. I haven't hung out there in, I don't know, this is probably like 86.
Oh, wow.
So, right around the time. I remember after the first Sick of It All show, we came back over there, Anthony Cominali was supposed to come down. I forget who showed up. I don't know if we ever actually hooked up that night, but afterwards, guys would come down. They had this big, oh, wow, the alleyway. We're going through the alleyway, and it's like, you get there, and it's like, dude, it's like 15 feet long. It's like, but it was like the seed that we needed to get everybody together. And it's just like, you just go there, and then we'd all be at shows together. So I'll be like, oh, cool.
So how many people in the Alleyway Crew at that time?
I'd say there was probably like 15 of us. It was all the guys, and it was Pete and Lou. Craig used to come down sometimes. Armand, if he was down from Tarrytown. Big Dave would be there. Little Dave would be there. Me. Marie Kelly, who was dating Pete at the time.
Yeah.
May used to come. She was dating Lou at the time. Yeah, and it was like, other people would show up. They'd come down once in a while. Like Ron and Paul from Maspeth, they would show up once in a while.
Yeah.
But it was a cool little thing. It was like that. It was just that thing where I was just out of school, and I found where I belong. Those are the guys. These are they were just like me. And it was like, hey, we're all like each other. Yeah. Not exactly, but enough that it could be. Now I'm in a crew. There's a bunch of us.
Yeah,
not just me by myself.
Yeah.
And then and that's how that whole Alleyway Crew thing came around. It wasn't with the tough guys or nothing. It was just who you going with? Oh, the Alleyway guys. Oh, who's that? And then after a while, nobody had ever asked.
Yeah.
Nobody asked you because everybody knew,
Yeah, that's awesome.
We all got that tattoo, and it was just everybody had the necklace. And I still have mine. I still wear it every day.
That's awesome. Do you still have the original? Wow.
Yeah. It got cracked, and I got it fixed, and then I got to put in this piece of it's set in stainless. I think it's either some sort of steel. It's either sterling silver or steel, but I still wear it every single day.
Who made those, and who made those originally?
Pete made those. Pete worked in this place where they made stuff out of like these little ceramic pendants.
Uh-huh.
And he just made one, and it was like, well, those shits are cool. And he made one for everybody. We all had it.
Holy shit, I never knew that. It's crazy.
Yeah. So that's how you knew, who was really down, because they had that real dragon, the one that Pete made.
Holy shit. And where'd that dragon come from? Was that a Tattoo Flash, supposedly?
This kid, you remember Duck?
Yeah, Ducky, yeah.
Yeah, Ducky saw it was on the bottom of this flash sheet. It was Greg Irons.
Okay.
He was dead. He was already dead by that time. He got hit by a bus. Kind of weird, but
holy shit.
He had it on the bottom of the sheet. It was like the signature for that sheet.
Mm-hmm. I
don't think he ever used it on anything else but that. That's the only time I ever saw it. And Duck was like, I want to get that. And then he got it on the back of his head, just behind his ear.
Yeah.
And we were like, that's cool. We should all get it. And we all everybody who hung out there all the time, we all had it.
That's crazy. I remember it's the only one Lou had on his wrist for a long time.
Lou has it on his wrist.
Yeah.
I think Pete has it on his wrist. My first one is on my wrist.
That's amazing, man. Oh shit, my first one was on my wrist too. Oh shit, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, because I
dude.
hid it from my parents because I had like wear my watch over and you couldn't see it. My mom didn't know it was tattooed. So.
Oh my god, dude. So then, like that 7-inch put the Alleyway on the map, dude. That first 7-inch.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was like, oh shit, that's where it comes from. The drag, and it all worked really good together.
Yeah. It's like something I know a lot of people think that there's a lot of like you see these bands now that get marketed right off the bat. And they got managers and shit.
Yeah.
It's a plan, but there was no plan. It was like, just put out a record, play some shows, and then all of a sudden, 35 years later,
it's crazy, man. It's
still
amazing.
doing it.
I know, dude.
It's like it's 33. It'll be 33 years this summer.
It's amazing,
so
man.
Sick.
It's
like,
so amazing, dude. Are you so proud? So you're like a proud dad for them and shit. It's crazy.
Fucking A, right? I mean, I got an Alleyway dragon on my throat now, so I mean, come on, you see that shit?
Yeah.
There's still people like, what is that? I'm like, hey, I got all this shit that the people look at, but it's always like, yeah. Guys, like, I meet people around the country, and they're like, oh, you sing about? I'm like, yeah, oh, shit, man, blah, 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 I got this. And, like, guys got the dragon and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, wow, it's crazy.
It's so awesome.
People, like, asking me, people are like, oh, can I get the dragon? I'm like, no. I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm just fucking with you. But so many people have it. There's like 3 Facebook pages. There's like 2 Instagram pages. There's people with Alleyway dragons.
It's it's around the whole entire world, man. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's so cool seeing that.
Yeah. And to know that, like, there was like maybe 10 of us that had it. Now, so there's like thousands of people.
Everywhere around the whole entire globe.
Yeah. Well, it's worldwide. Kind of funny. You think that for a bunch of knuckleheads are like teenagers, and then all of a sudden we're like adults and shit now, and people are still getting it.
Yeah, it's crazy how far that music's gone, and it's just crazy how far that music's gone, and that dragon's gone, and how internationally known it is, and you guys just these kids hanging on the alley, and the band had just started, right? Like, had they been playing lots of shows when what came first, the band or the Alleyway?
The Alleyway was definitely first.
Yeah.
Because when I first started hanging out, that was like the summer of '85, and they didn't play the first show as a Right Track In the summer of '86. So, they were practicing and stuff, but they hadn't played a show till that one with Youth Is Today, I think, was the headliner.
Yeah.
I think the first it wasn't the first Straight Ahead show. That was different. That was a different night.
Oh, Straight Ahead was on the first show. Yeah. Is that what it was?
I think that their first show was Youth Today. I don't remember who else played, but I remember us like loading all this shit into my car and like piling everybody else in. It was a dangerous load we had in my car, but. It sounds
like you're the only guy with a fucking car.
I was the first guy with a car.
Yeah.
I was the only guy with a car.
It's crazy because
I was the only guy with a driver's license.
Yeah, it's crazy because I talked to my friend Shauna from D.C. or from Maryland, and when she got her license at 16, she was like our golden ticket, and we started going to shows in D.C. with like everybody crammed in a fucking car, blasting music. It was just such a fun mission to go to those shows. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Because you never got to a show by yourself. You went there and everybody was there, and everybody else was there. So
yeah, I mean, people took the trains
cool.
and the shit like that, but I think wasn't taking the trains and buses kind of sketchy back then.
Not if you were rolling like 5 or 6 deep.
Yeah, that's true.
We never. I mean, I took the train by myself a lot back then, but we were going to matinees. We'd like go to like Pete Lou's house, and we'd walk down to the subway, and we'd all be on the train together.
Yeah.
And we meet like Big Dave and Little Dave. They lived in Corona, so they were like a couple of stops away from us, and they'd get on, and Rob would be there. We'd meet them all on the train, so we'd all roll in together.
Do you feel like everything that do you feel like you learn more probably about life and living and community and treating people from hardcore music more than anything else in your life? Your experiences, you think that's something that it's stuck with you your whole life?
Definitely. It was like it was like the first step, like that little seed where like you were like when I was in high school, I never got bullied or nothing. I wasn't a small kid.
Yeah.
So I'm sure like, a lot of people got bullied with littler guys, but I played sports with people and shit,
Yeah.
But like I never really had that connection. I was always like a music guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got out of school, I was working, and I worked in this restaurant, and all I did was spend my money on records.
It's awesome.
We'll go to the city, be all over the place buying records.
Bleecker
but,
Bob's.
The guys that I went to the Bleecker Bob's,
Yeah.
Tower.
Some
The
records.
first time I went to Tower, yeah, Some Records. Well, Some Records, it was after like when I first started going to shows.
Okay.
But I remember I had never been in Tower Records, and there was this record store out in Little Neck, and what the hell was I forget what it was, Metro Records. And when Rock the Light came out, he was like, "I'm gonna get us good," and it was like a month. He was all probably next week. And I was like, dude, it's like 6 weeks you've been telling me this. So we went out. So we're out in the city one night. We went to see Laser Zeppelin at the Hayden Planetarium.
Yeah.
And it's like it got out like early, so like fuck it, let's go downtown. So we're walking around, and my friends are like, "Oh yeah, this is a record store called Tower Records. It's open till midnight." I'm like, "What? No." And I'm like, "Where is it?" And they're like, "Oh, we don't know." So we're wandering around, and we see this dude with a Tower Records bag. We run over to him, and he's ready to get a beat down. And we're like, "Where is that place?" So we're like, "Where is that place?" And he's like, "How do you get there?" And he gave us directions. So we went there. So we come down. Broadway, and it's like kind of dark. It's nighttime, and we go to Tower Records, and it's just like the middle of the day, and it's brightly lit.
Yeah.
So I walk inside, and then I can hear like angels playing harps when we walk through the door. I'm like, holy shit, this place is amazing. And all the records are alphabetized, right? So I walk down, I follow the B's, and I get to the B section, and there's fucking Rock the Light in the B section. There's like 60 of them.
Holy shit.
I bought it. I never ever went back to Metro Records after that.
Wow, dude, that's fucking amazing.
I was like, holy shit. And I spent so much money in Tower, Virgin, all those fucking giant stores, all the small stores.
Dude, I remember you had a lot of music, dude.
Records.
Yeah, you had a lot of music, man.
Yeah.
What was like your first record? Like, what was like your first connection to music, and why you loved it so much? You think?
The first record I ever got was "Steal Your Face" by the Grateful Dead, that double live record.
Holy shit!
Which is so un-hardcore.
Yeah.
And also the cool thing about that was the thing that got me into Skulls. I love that cover to this day. I mean, I got that and I was like, I don't know, I was like 10, I think.
Holy shit.
Maybe actually, I think it was probably like 10 years old when I got that record.
Yeah.
And I've loved Skulls since that. Like on my copy of the vinyl, you could see where I traced that skull. And you see marks in the record cover.
You still have that record?
It's the craziest. I still have it.
Holy shit.
Still have it. That was my first real record album. Like we had shit in the house that my father had. Like we got from people. Like he got like all these disco records from this guy on the bus one time. But that was my first record.
Did your dad play music around you a lot and kind of got you into music?
No, my parents, my mom liked Richard Tauber. She was a good Irish lady, you know.
Okay.
Richard Tauber was a big thing with Irish people for whatever reason, like this German tenor guy.
It's random.
And but yeah, they didn't really listen to music. I mean, I found I got my first radio when I was like, I think it was 5.
Oh wow.
And it was a Superman. It was shaped like Superman, and I loved Superman in those days. Yeah. And it was an AM radio, and I remember listening. It was 2 stations, WABC and WNBC, and they played, I guess what you would call pop for the day, but it was a lot of rock and roll stuff. Yeah. And that was where it started. That's I remember amazing. me and my sister used to listen to it, and our favorite song was David Bowie, Fame. And it was like, that guy, we didn't know anything about him. Yeah. Yeah. We didn't know anything about this guy, but that song, I love that song. And we're looking at 45 years later or whatever.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's nuts when you think about it. But
did you ever see Bowie back then?
That was like, I didn't have any records or nothing, but we were waiting for that song to come on. But then the David Essex song, Rock Me, or was it Rock On?
Oh yeah, Rock On, yeah.
Yeah, that was another favorite song.
Hey, rock on, yeah.
That one, yeah. And then when I was like 10, I got my first FM radio.
Oh, that changed a lot, right?
Yeah, because then you had WPIX was on, and that was like, they played a lot of punk rock. They played the Ramones. That's where I heard the Clash for the first time.
Wow.
They played like all the punk rock from like that time, for like 77, 78, Yeah. And that's where it started for me. I used to listen to WPX all the time.
That's amazing, man.
And then yeah, and then like college radio and stuff. But that's where it started. That's like I learned everything I need to know. I learned from being around people, and that's how you get to interact. You find something in common that you'd never found before.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And it was music. So
yeah, did you ever want to play music?
I actually had a band with my brother-in-law and one of my brother-in-law's friends, and I was playing bass, and we were like practicing in the basement, and we were actually starting to get good. And like a couple people like, yo, when you guys are ready, let us know. We get your shows.
Oh shit!
And then I got promoted, and then my guitar player they had a kid, and then my brother-in-law had a kid, and then they moved to Florida, and then I was like, oh, it's over.
Oh shit! From Outlasted, yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool for like a year or two. We did it for probably about 2 years. I mean, I still have a bunch of guitars laying around and shit.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe when I retire.
Yeah.
But
that's amazing. So, and what made you become a bus driver? Like, what was?
Well, I had no job for a while.
Yeah.
And my father was a bus driver.
Okay.
And he was just like, I was out of work for like 3 months. I mean, I wasn't really looking all that hard,
Yeah.
Like I had money saved, so I wasn't like hurting for cash, and I didn't have really any expenses.
Mm-hmm.
I ate at home, and all I did was buy records. So,
yeah.
So he says to me, he goes, well, he got me the application, and then in '85, right after I started working at Garden Wall, I was gonna get a job at this other bus company. They would hire you when you were 19, which I was at the time.
Yeah.
Well, I was 20, but they would hire you, and actually, no, I was 18. So I learned how to drive a bus, and then the guy who was running the job was such a dick. And they lost my application 3 times, and then they told me, they wanted me to do all this shit, and then they didn't tell me they wanted me to start that day. So when I go back on the Monday, he goes, well, I can't wait for you. Like 2 weeks is a little job that you have. And I was like, well, then forget it. And I walked out.
Damn.
And then the day I turned 21, my father took my application into where he worked.
Oh, wow.
And then that was August, and by February I was working.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was quick. And I was like, I never wanted to be a bus driver. Not that I hated it or something. I just never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was a fun job, driving 40 feet of bus down the street, like a tight street, all these people like looking at you weird and shit. Especially once I started having tattoos on my forearms, it was just like, oh,
dude, I remember that, man.
Yeah. So. Did
you ever feel like quitting that job?
I used to get pissed a lot of times because I remember like I was missing a lot of shows and stuff because I was working Saturday nights at like 11, which sucked,
Yeah.
Most of my sick days were going to see shows.
Wow.
I would always call in sick for the Super Bowl. I would never miss any of those.
Super Bowl hardcore. Yeah.
I'm going. Sick of it all playing. I'm going.
Not for people listening. Not the football game. The hardcore show.
Not the football game. The hardcore show.
Those used to be amazing. Go ahead.
Yeah, but speaking of the Super Bowl, it's like I didn't even realize until like Thursday that the Super Bowl was coming up. I'm like, really? And I was like, oh, all right, whatever. And I was like, I didn't even have the TV on that day.
Me either, dude. I didn't watch. I was never into sports. You never played sports as a kid or anything?
I played. I mean, my friends and I, when I moved to Bayside first, they were like sports guys, but not like jocks.
Yeah.
They were sports fans, and we used to play like football. We played football during football season, like 2-hand touch.
Yeah.
Nothing physical. And we played hockey, and we got to roller hockey, and we played softball and stickball in the summertime because of baseball season. But nothing really. I was never like a team or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember playing, and it was like these guys. Oh, what do these guys know about sports? And we were like actually pretty good. Like we were playing with people in school, like especially like when we went to junior high school. It was like of the public school I went to for elementary school. The 1 year I was in it, it was just like people from around. But when you went to junior high school, there was people getting like bussed over there. So you met people that you never would have interacted with.
Yeah.
So you had like the sports guys and you had like the stoner guys, but then like we were playing, these guys like, holy shit, these guys actually can play. Like they think like we don't look like them. That we're not going to be able to. We really played all the time.
Yeah.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But then I had the music thing going too. So music kind of eclipsed everything.
Yeah,
movies, comic books, and all that shit all just fell to the wayside.
Yeah, you loved going to live shows. You used to go to so many shows, man. It's amazing.
I still go out. I'm going Friday night. I'm going to see. I was out last Friday, you know. So,
yeah.
So
yeah, music's has been your life forever, man. It's amazing. You've been such a supporter.
Pretty much.
Yeah, all different kinds of music too, not just hardcore.
Yeah, not just hardcore. I mean, I actually did 2 festivals over the summer. I was in Chicago for this festival called Moon Runners.
Okay.
And it you know Reggie's, that place.
Yeah, played it before. Yeah.
All right, yeah, it was there. It was 3 days this year, and it was a lot of cool bands. Nothing, you know, like not hardcore at all.
Yeah.
It was some more harder bands with like a lot of crusty like Train Kids. Like Days and Days, I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're really good. They played, and it was cool. But then there's another festival down in Tennessee called Muddy Roots in this town called Cookville. It's right outside Nashville.
Yeah,
and it's like a weekend thing. And I was just like, I've gone to a couple of festivals where I had a camp. Like I was at this one Farmageddon Fest it was in Montana. And I flew up there, so I had to buy like a tent and rent a car and shit.
Wow.
So when I was leaving, I'm like, I'm not bringing this shit home with me. So I threw all the tents and everything away. So I was like, I did that, and then I did another one in Wisconsin. The same thing, Farmageddon Fest, and same shit. Rented a car, threw everything in the garbage, and then just went home. So I was doing this one down in Tennessee this year, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to drive. So I decided I drove to Chicago, and I said it was rough, but I learned some shit. But when I drove to Tennessee, I bought a tent that I'm keeping.
Nice.
You know, I bought a whole bunch of shit, so I kept everything. So I still have everything. So now actually bought my ticket for next year because I had such a good time this year. Made a ton of new friends and shit. Saw a bunch of bands I never heard of before.
You drove there solo?
But I saw yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, but it's like X played, and they were fucking amazing.
Damn.
You know, TSOL played. They were great.
Love TSOL.
The Meat Puppets played. I missed them, but then like metal bands like High on Fire played. I'd heard of. I never heard them, and like one of my favorite bands now.
Oh, that's awesome,
and I just
man.
heard now that. Yeah, they just won a Grammy tonight, so I mean.
Oh shit, that's
it was
sick.
Quite so it was pretty cool. But I was just, I had a great time. I hung out with a bunch of great guys. And, I felt the love, and it all came back from those first couple of shows I went to.
That's amazing. You're still doing that. You're in the 50s. You're driving across the country to go check out new music, and you're not just looking online to find. You actually go see it played live. That's pretty fucking amazing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love that.
The same thing. You go see a band, one band, and you go see them, and there's other bands you never heard of before, and it's like, wow, there goes more of my paycheck. You know what I mean? It's like I don't mind, because that's the only thing, And I don't buy, I try not to buy records and CDs, because it's too much bulk.
Yep.
I buy tons of MP3s. You ever go on Bandcamp?
Yeah, I heard of that. Yeah, I don't think I've been on there, though, yeah.
I tell you, I spend a lot of money on that because it's cool because it's kind of like iTunes where you can buy music from the band.
Yeah.
But you're buying it from them, and they're getting more of a cut than they do from
great.
like iTunes,
yeah,
Spotify,
I like that.
Shit. So that's what I like about it. And there's so much stuff on. Like you can find anything, and not just you can't even name a genre of music that you can't find there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You're definitely gonna find something. Like I'm more like when I'm in drunk mode and I'm talking to people about music, I'm like, you gotta go there, man.
Go to Bandcamp.
I've probably spent about maybe $4 or $5 grand on that site.
Wow, that's crazy.
Over the years.
But that's awesome. You're supporting music which you love. That's amazing, dude.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm always going to see bands. I got a big show this weekend.
Yeah, I love the fact that you're into hardcore punk rock. You're going to shows. You were traveling, but you always kept a real job and with probably benefits and a retirement plan and all that shit. It's amazing.
Yeah, I got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I missed out on a few shows, but
yeah, it's fucking
I was
awesome.
in Ireland. I was in Ireland 3 years ago, and Madball was playing in Dublin, and I was like, dude, I'm there. So I went to see Madball in Dublin.
That's sick. That's amazing.
Pretty cool.
That's awesome. So now you're pretty much your own boss. You kind of do not do what you want, but you make your own hours and shit like that, or?
Well, I have a good schedule. I work 2 to 10, and I'm off Sunday and Monday.
Yeah,
so
that's great. Yeah.
it works for me, And I'm in Brooklyn, so if I want to go to I go to the bar at nighttime or the shows. The train's right there. Right, the train's for free. So
yeah,
even if when I was paying, I don't have to worry about driving. I can have a drink or two.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the bus stop's right at the block of my house, so
perfect.
It's perfect for me now.
New York for life. You couldn't see yourself living anywhere else, huh?
I mean, I'd rather be where I was before I moved back to Queens. But some things don't last forever as much as you think they would or you want them to.
Yeah, true.
So unfortunately, but hey, I'm not going to cry about it. I did enough of that, so I'm back here and I'm making the best of it. I got work, I got friends around here.
Yeah.
Bars to go to, bands to see.
Yep.
Music to buy.
Well, definitely your love for music never dies. That's what's amazing. For sure.
Nah, never did. You would think that people I listen to people, oh, there's no good music. I'm like, you're just fucking lazy. You're fucking lazy. You look at it this way, you have the most amazing thing that humans have ever invented.
Yeah, man.
Maybe you might have heard of it. It's called the internet.
Yeah.
If you can't find something new on the internet.
Yeah, man.
If
everywhere.
You can't find new music, you ain't looking hard enough.
Exactly.
It's out there, and it's not that hard to find.
No, man. It's just like one press of a button just on your phone. It's fucking easy, man.
Yeah, you go on YouTube, and the next thing you know, it's like 5 hours later. Like, holy shit, what did I do for 5 hours?
Yeah, it's a real rabbit hole. Shit. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Deb. Well, I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you. When I first moved to New York, and everybody teased me, and they gave me tough love and called me a hick from Maryland. Yeah. But I appreciate it.
Girly man from Maryland.
Exactly. And I love that because that built character with me, and that gave me like some tough skin that I needed because I moved there by myself, and you guys all took me under your wings as like big brothers and fucking really showed me a great time living there, and I got so many great experiences from that,
Yeah, well, one of the things about that, I really, like I said, I had friends in high school and stuff, but hanging out in the alleyway, all we did was abuse each other, and it wasn't out of like trying to hurt nobody. It was like if you saw it from the outside, you'd be like, oh, who's gonna go to first punch? But it was like we were toughening each other up without even realizing that's what we were doing, and I still do that to people.
Me
like,
too.
Guys that work for me, I'm like,
me too.
I'm like, dude, I got this one guy at work, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to start putting gunpowder in your food or something to toughen you up, kid. And he's like, oh no, I'm like.
Oh
I'm
my
still
God.
doing it.
Holy, it's like instilled inside of us. The ball breaking is still inside of us. It's crazy, man.
But it prepares you for people that are going to try to like bully you and
for
try
sure.
to one up you, and you're like,
for sure.
You be right in there, and it's like, I can't even break this guy. That's right, you can't break me. I'm fucking Alleyway. It's corny to think that, but it's like that's where I learned a lot of my
100%, dude.
My badassery. I don't know what you want to call it, but like I could always hold my own and shit. But like physically is one thing, but verbally it's like you can't let nobody shut you down, and
100%.
You got to be ready. It's like you bring it, I'm bringing it 10 times as hard as you could imagine I could do it.
100%. And I thank you guys and Sick of It All for that. I can't wait to have them on the podcast. It's gonna be a lot of ball breaking.
You should do it live like Joe Rogan style.
Oh, man.
Go down.
That'd be amazing. Fuck.
Shooting ropes and Pussy Boy.
All that shit. We're going to get into all that fucking insanity.
Roger that.
Well, I love you, Devin. I appreciate you being part of my life and the chapter of my life. And
one of my oldest friends, my man.
Thank you, brother. And I appreciate everything you've done, and thanks for being a role model for me. And I always admired your hard work with your job and still making time to go to shows and all that, man. You're like a big brother, so I appreciate it very much.
Well, I'll tell you this much about you. Is this knucklehead kid from Maryland who didn't know nothing, and you're still doing it, and you got a lot to be proud of yourself. Your lovely wife.
Thank you, man.
You got a good-looking. Your boy is growing up to be a good man.
Yes.
So
thank you, Devil.
You're doing something right, my fella.
Thank you, brother. All the best to you, and hope to see you soon, man, in real life.
Roger that.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
Peace, Devil.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Take care.
Bye. Hey, guys. Thanks for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet to this podcast, please do that. And whatever platform you are listening to this on, I'm glad you found me. You can rate me and review me on there also. So thank you guys sincerely for the support. I cannot wait for you guys to do the next one.